at this point, we're going to start putting in walkways. Now, if I take this model right now and I go ahead down, I'm going to go back to these little cubes on the bottom. The first one was the detailing. That's the one we talked about, and it showed more detail as we moved in. The next one is actually going to color code it. If I go to this and I say shaded, you'll see how we have a site, a dirt site, and we have the elements on the site. If your machine can handle it, if you want to get fancier, you drop this down and go to realistic. And what it'll do is it'll replace the materials with true materials. So if I was to zoom in on those trees, see they look like trees now. The site's kind of dark, but we'll change that. Now, you've come from an AutoCAD background, and you understand how you can change layer colors, right? Okay. If you go up to Manage right here, there's multiple ways to change backgrounds, and we'll do it in the site so it'll be updated. We come across the top, it says Object Styles. When I hit Object Styles, it's going to open up your layer dialog box. It doesn't turn them on and off, but it gives you the colors of what they look like. As we come down to Site, it's going down to Topography. See, topography is now using an earth material, so it's like it's ground. So when I hit Earth here, we can hit it, and it's going to change it to another material. Now the material editor on my machine takes a moment to come up, and it should come up in a moment. What we do is we pick. So currently it says Earth. When we cut through it, it has that pattern. When we cut the section, you see the pattern. It has no surface pattern, and it also has, right here, it has a color of green. We can change that color to something different, say make it a softer green. We can also say appearance. You can actually pick the material. See, it says image right here? It's using gravel and dirt. We don't want that. We may want grass. So that word, I went to appearance now. We ping that. I click on the word here and I say use grass. So it'll be more of a grass site instead of it being that all like dirt. Hit OK. Now I'm going to hit OK on that. So what it's going to do is, it's going to take away all that brown and it's going to replace it with a green. So it's doing its thing, going through the process. And we got to hit OK on that. And you see it's updating. And then it's using earth, but the earth is now going to have grass on it. I hit OK. So see, now we have a green surface. So now to put on your to put in sidewalks, there's two ways to go about it. You can do what's called split the site. You can cut this site up and actually put in subsets, or you can just go ahead and put in like a concrete or a brick walk path. Are these going to be gravel, or are they going to be brick, or do we know concrete?
We don't know.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to go back to my floor plan, my site plan here, and we can put in what's called
Maybe concrete.
Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll use concrete. Up under architecture, you'll see these things called floors. Now a floor, if you think about it, floors made out of concrete. Remember there's concrete out in the driveway, there's concrete for walkways. It all can be used. It's a linear, a flat element. So just go floor, architectural floor. Now you draw closed shapes using lines, circles, and squares.
So I can draw
Yeah.
a cylindrical path or a circle
If you
with parameters.
You come out and let's say we want this thing to be exactly 280 feet. 280, enter. So that's 280 feet. Now maybe the inside ring might be a little smaller. Maybe it's a 6-foot walkway path. Using some commands over here, very similar to AutoCAD, you'll see there's offset, right? So if you're comfortable with offset, you fire it up, and Revit says, okay, let's read the command line. It says offset of 1 foot. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to ping that a couple of times. I say give it a 6-foot offset, 6 foot. And now I'm going to hover over that ring, and you see how it's putting that secondary blue line? When you pick, that's the side it puts it on. So now you see how I have the purple. It has to be closed. If you have open ends, it freaks out. And now I hit finish. Now it just created that concrete path.
Okay.
Now if I go down here and I change this to realistic or shaded, notice there's the elements, okay? Now that concrete is dead even with the grass. So here's what we need to do. If you think about it, so maybe a little higher than the grass. So I'm going to come over here and add it, bring it off of level 1 inch. It's going to lift it off the ground 1 inch. So it's still going to be in the ground partially, but it's going to be above my grass. I hit apply on that, and now you see how the concrete is sitting up above, like so. Now as you're starting to lay this stuff out, you're probably thinking, well, I want to lay things in the center, and if you're coming from an AutoCAD background, you can use those tools. We have model lines, which are like strings. You can draw lines, and they'll be in all worlds. So if I do a model line from, let's say, the center of here, to the center of here. Okay? You see that line at left, right? By using a model line, it's like a string. So if I go to 3D, pan over a little bit, see the line in there? Okay, so they will stay there in all views. So you could lay those lines out, and when you're done, you can just go ahead and delete them. So you can sketch line work all over. Whether you say, well, maybe where the well is, you can just put a line there and represent the well. And I'll do that real quick. Now, when I go back over here to the model lines again, you have different types of model lines. We have thin lines, heavy lines, wide lines, dash lines, overhead lines, hidden lines. So maybe you want to represent a pipe that's going to be running a main water line through the site. You may say, I'm just going to use a center line. And you may start here and just draw that line, right? Now, when I zoom in on it, you'll see it's center because it's just a scale so big. If I change this to, let's say, I'm on level 1, let's go back to site plan. You can actually see that dashed line. Now, when I go to 3D, the cool thing is, see, I also see that line in my site. So you can put it there so I can see where things are in representation. So you can draw line work, or you can build these slab elements that will give you that. Now, that's how we put the side of concrete in. I'll go back again to site plan. I'm going to turn this off just for the time being. Go back to hidden line. That's the standard one, is hidden line. And let's say I wanted to put a large element in here and have a pathway going out off of it. So again, I'm going to use floor, architecture, floor, architectural floor. Now, by using this, again, using the line work, I'm going to use a few different tools here. I draw a shape, hit escape. Now, if I want a little path to come out of here, again, if you're coming from AutoCAD, I'm going to draw a line, maybe like this, and like this. Now, you want to make sure your chain's turned on. Make sure that's always turned on.
What's that?
That's when you build in families. It's more advanced tools. Now, you and I understand that that's probably 2 pieces of concrete. But when I hit finish, Revit doesn't. See, it freaks out. So I can't do that. I don't understand. It has to be one closed line. Now, you can do different pieces as long as it's a closed line. Now, if I take these and I delete these elements, and I hit finish, see, it's happy. That's all I can build that. So we have to remember when we're building these things. Now I hit undo again. I'm going to undo using this little undo button. The other thing we can do is if you clean these up, like in AutoCAD. Now I'm going to use the break command. That's what you call it in AutoCAD. In Revit they call it split. I'll split this item right here. Click. And I'm going to use fillet, which is right here. Fillet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now see how that's a closed shape again? It's happy now when I hit finish. That's the real rules of doing concrete or doing anything flat. It has to be a clean purple line. Doesn't matter what shape it goes, as long as a point to point to point to point to point to point to point. So that's how we clean those up. So you can put in any shape you want, circles, whatever, it just has to be closed.
So fast.
Okay.
Can we simply stretch it to there and connect it and delete the center line and it all become concrete, or does it not work that way?
No, it does not work that way.
It's got to be done in the process you just showed me.
Yes, and it works very similar to AutoCAD hatch. Has a closed boundary. Now I can grab this. Yeah, if I go to stretch, see, I can move it, but it's not stretching; it's moving it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go back to edit the boundary. Now you can grab that purple line. You can drag it, right?
Okay.
Now the purple line will come out to here. When I hit finish, though, you'll see now I have 2 pieces of concrete, and they're kind of laying on top of each other. I'm going to pop this one up 1 inch, 1 inch, and now you will see those overlaying each other because they are 2 separate elements. That's how Revit sees them. So you could come in here, if you want to get fancy, edit the boundary again, and I can come in here and use the green line here, which is called pick line, and I pick that edge. See, I kind of followed the edge, and I got to clean this up using fillet. This is how it's like AutoCAD. I cleaned it up like that, and I got to get rid of that line. Now, when I hit finish, you see how that concrete and that concrete are kind of happy together. Though they are separate elements, I just kind of used the line work to clean it up. So these tools that we talked about up top here, edit boundary, offset, copy, move, rotate, trim the corner, those are commands that come straight out of AutoCAD. Line, circle, square, out of AutoCAD. You're just using them to do different things with it. Just remember, with the floor, it has to be a closed purple line. And you'll start simple and get more advanced with it as you go. And you may make 5 or 6 of them because they're easier to make than try to make it in one pass. They're going to put an expansion joint there anyhow if they pour it. So that's how we get that to work. So that's how you add concrete pads or walkways to Revit.